All right, let's chat about it. International news and notes segment here. And unfortunately, we're kicking it off with a couple of injuries. I hate it. I don't
Sad.
like it. Loathe it. Don't want it. But we got to chat about it. We're going to start off with injury news to Jeanine Beckie out of Portland Thorns. The Canadian international suffered a torn ACL during preseason tournament. Hated to see that news break, and just really terrible timing. And someone, I think, at this point of the year, when you're looking at certain international programs, you can look at certain players and say, okay, look, player X, Y, or Z is a near lock to padlock to go and represent their nation in the upcoming World Cup. I think when you look at Canada's national team roster, Jeanine Beckie is absolutely one of those players. So I don't know, when we look at these types of injuries, I think people try to grasp for like, what does it all mean, and these silver linings and within them, if you can find them. But Jeanine Beckie has is a very special player and
Yeah.
person. And I just anticipate that she's just going to play a different role for this team. Both Portland Thorns and Canadian national team. She's just going to play a different role for them moving
It's
forward.
so
It's just not going to
sad.
be on the pitch.
It,
Yeah.
it it is literally so sad. It makes me heartbroken. Everything that this player did last year for Portland Thorns, and how hard Jeanine Beckie worked in the offseason, understanding that this was going to be such a big year for her, with the Thorns looking to go back to back, and then with Canada looking to win the Olympics in 2021 in Tokyo, and then win this World Cup. There was just a lot
Yeah.
of bright lights for this player this year, and really, really devastating. It happened in about a week ago, actually, in a preseason game for Portland. It wasn't great to watch everything that happened. And when you see a player go down, everyone collectively watching, both teams, both fans, both countries, right? A lot of Americans upset about this, holding their breath. And then Beckie ultimately making a statement on social media is to kind of confirm everything, that it was her ACL. I actually had. I was in Canada when she made this announcement and when it happened, and all over Canadian Sports Center, they talked about this, and how much of an impact, which, I mean, you and I know, Sandra, but for those that maybe don't follow Canadian national team as closely, but this was a player that, yes, on the pitch was incredibly influential in this team's success in Canada, but off the pitch, she was being one of the very, very vocal
Yeah.
leaders in Canada's fight for equality and fight for pay and fight for everything that they were looking to do, with their federation. And I don't think that spirit will go anywhere for this player,
Right.
and she will continue to be a fight and a voice and a face for this fight for this federation. But really speedy recovery to Jeanine Beckie. Prayers and thoughts with her, because
Yeah.
it sucks. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah,
It
100%.
sucks.
There's no way it's sugarcoating it, really. It's an important point that you make. It's sort of what I meant by saying, Becky's going to play a little bit of a different role for the team moving forward. I mean, when the players wanted to hold an emergency press conference, it was Beckie that was running that media call. I sat on that call, and she was the one introducing players and interacting with media and calling on them for
Yeah.
questions. And we're starting to see players give statements in legal settings, and Beckie, one of these players among them. And I would anticipate that that might be the role that she's going to go ahead and resume
Yeah,
that
I think
fight
she
and
will.
continue that
She
fight for the team when they're
she's
unable to.
Exactly, yeah, she's outspoken, she's knowledgeable, she's great at communicating, not only, amongst her teammates and being a leader in that sense on the team, but also outwardly speaking. And she worked, and helped cover the World Cup for Canadian
Yeah.
TSN in for Qatar. She worked as a bit of an analyst and a communicator. So she's got that spirit about her that's not going anywhere. And I think that'll stay, and that'll help continue Canada's fight for equality. And before you know it, she'll be back for sure.
Yeah, we also have to chat a little bit about an injury to Lena Oberdorf. A little bit different, a knee injury as well, but it's been confirmed that it's actually a right knee sprain. Sprains can be kind of tricky depending on the grade of sprain that they are, but it's for that reason she was not going to participate with the UEFA Women's Champions League quarterfinals. That's actually going to take place on Wednesday night, so make sure you tune into those against PSG. But unavailable for those. But I think even depending on the grade of sprain that it could be, you're maybe taking a little bit of a breath of relief, because this is not a player that you want to lose for club, and it's definitely not a player that you want to lose for Germany heading into a World Cup. So
yeah, no, it's devastating for sure.
Yeah, hopefully the next update we get on her is going to be like an update in terms of a timeline and a table when she'll return. But another bit of international news that we wanted to touch upon that we were having some conversation about off mic in terms of where we should slot it in, because it does count as NWSL news, but it was a bit of news that we wanted to talk about, delicately, because it's such an unfortunate scenario. We want to chat a little bit about a player that folks might be familiar with, because we've had them as a guest on our show before. We want to talk a little bit about Scarlett Camberos, and she is going to make her departure from Club America in Liga MX Feminil. Within a statement that was dropped late last night, an official communication from Club America, they highlighted a very terrible ongoing situation with Camberos. She essentially is a victim of digital violence, has had someone stalking her, for lack of a better word, for quite some time. It has been an absolute nightmare and unfortunate set of scenarios. Hacked social accounts, very, very, very difficult time for this player out in Club America, and everything just essentially coming to a head. Camberos just no longer feeling safe, to play with the club, and despite Club America's best efforts to try to ensure that this player is indeed safe, and trying to work with Mexican authorities, unfortunately, there's just not a lot out there within Mexican legal processes to ensure that digital violence can be accounted for. So essentially, this person who had hacked her accounts and had been stalking her was held in jail, but only for a certain amount of time. I think it was like a day and a half. So just not, it's come to a head, and you have to respect the player in this sense, and that they no longer feel safe, and they want to do something to try to make sure that they can continue their playing career, but always feel safe. So within this official communication out of Club America, they noted that within the processes that they've been working with Camberos and the authorities, they are also in communication with Angel City FC. So this is officially, it's on the internet. It's on an official club statement. So it sounds like Scarlett Camberos will go to Angel City. It is not the set of circumstances in which you want to celebrate this type of player announcement, but when they do make it official, that's going to be a massive get for Angel City.
Massive. Yeah, I mean, I think you said it perfectly. Like, how scary to be a player like Scarlett Camberos, who's dealing with this, not only stalking, but the hacking, and to not at all feel safe. And the fact that the Liga MX Feminil club is saying, okay, we want to protect you. We want to make sure that you can feel safe. So not the circumstances that we would want to have Scarlett Camberos come to the NWSL, but I think for fans that have been watching her in Liga MX Feminil and have seen her, I mean, we had the pleasure of interviewing her on Attacking Third. Is a tremendous human and a great player, a great soccer player. The fact that she could be joining the NWSL most likely, and Angel City, where she's from. A bit of that homegrown vibe there for Scarlett to get back to LA is fantastic. I mean, circumstances are horrible, and I hope that this player can get the help and support that Camberos needs to kind of move past this mentally, because that's traumatizing.
Yeah.
And the fact that she still wants to play and she wants to get out, and if this is how she gets to Angel City, it's devastating. But hey, she gets to Angel City. We get to watch her in the NWSL now. I think I'm trying to separate the two feelings, right?
Yeah,
Of
of course.
heartbreak and devastation, and this sucks for this player, and that's horrible. But also, like, this is a great opportunity for Angel City to get a little bit of depth and experience on their roster in Camberos, who is a very great soccer player. She can notch some goals. She's got a little bit of versatility in her bag. But it's out there. It's from one club, but we haven't heard anything from Angel City yet about this transfer.
Yeah, they were one of those teams when we talked about finalizing rosters. One of the 12 clubs that had put out, their dropped rosters, their final rosters for the 2023 season. And again, on the lower side of number 3, like, is there room to get this player in there? I know there's some workarounds there with season-ending injuries, players who might not count towards the roster at the moment, and maybe that's where the loophole is for Camberos to be named to this roster. But I think maybe somewhere in all this, it's a little bit of a full circle moment, I think, for Camberos. I mean, she is a Cali kid. She's from California. She's
went to UC Irvine.
Went to UC Irvine. Like, she's a LA native. So this is like a home. Maybe it's going to be a little bit of a homecoming for her.
Yeah.
She declared for the NWSL draft, did not get drafted or selected, and started her professional playing career in Liga MX Feminil. And now it seems like she's going to make a return home and into the NWSL. And I'm hopeful that we'll get to see her in some regular season action
For
whenever the official announcement comes into the pipeline. So speaking of other official announcements, we've got some more news to chat about internationally. Let's talk a little bit about FIFA prize money before we close things out here, because we like to talk about dollar bills here on A3. So let's keep talking about dollar bills. FIFA announcing the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup will have an increase in prize money. It's going to be over $150 million. The prize money is going to rise for the 2023 tournament, and so it's going to be 110 million with an additional 40 million for team preparation money and clubs who release players. So President Gianni Infantino just recently announcing this, and FIFA's intention for equal prize money by the time the 2027 Women's World Cup comes around. So that's going to be an even bigger number perhaps on the horizon for this tournament.
Yeah, this is massive. Announcing this, that the prize money over $150 million for this one, which is fantastic, honestly, with how everything is going. It allows for some of these other nations, right, to kind of build up and to get there, but we're still not there, right? We're still not quite there, because the prize money at the Men's World Cup in Qatar was $440 million. So we're getting there. And the fact that it's being increased for 2023 and the equal prize money should be there by 2027. It's coming. They're getting there. Big news for now, but we're not there yet.
It's the deep sigh for me from you, buddy. Same here, same feeling, same vibe. But look, they essentially put a little bit of a timeline on it and a little bit of a deadline. So that means got to hold those feet to the fire. We want to see that happen in 2027. So hopefully we get some more updates on that.
Forever from now.
It feels like it, but it's not. It's literally just going to be the next cycle. It's literally just going to be that. So we'll see. Hopefully they'll get that update in sooner rather than later. Because in the meantime, we're going to keep celebrating the NWSL regular season returning this weekend. Opening weekend is going to kick off on March 25th. Paramount Plus is your home for the 2023 NWSL season. Please don't forget, Paramount Plus is giving a free month to kickstart your NWSL season. So make sure you use promo code NWSL 2023. Okay, NWSL 2023 for 1 free month on Paramount Plus. Let's go.